So I gather you people here today to talk about something that's been like rattling at my brain for a little while. Um, and it might shake up some egos because I feel like that is exactly why it's been rattling at my brain because I like that kind of shit. So it's kind of a topic of like labeling people, like labeling bad people, like say like for example, if we're having a conversations about like, for example, Nazis, people will often go to like, oh, these monsters, these horrible people. And I just got this idea because I was watching a movie about Nazis, and my immediate thought process was to be like, oh, these people are monsters, fuck these people, burn in hell. Okay, I didn't think all that. But my automatic thought process was fuck these niggas. Um, so then I kind of caught myself and I was like, okay, where is this coming from? Like, where is this anger kind of rising up from, you know? I feel like the surface thought of that is like, it's easy to think, oh, because these people are doing horrible shit. They're literally burning people in a camp like crazy. But then I thought, like, how does this thought like benefit me? How does thinking that thought benefit me or anyone around me? Um, and like that thought just brought me back to another thing that kind of like peeves me off. That's like very much lower scale, but still like, oh, like fuck these people. But usually, like, say for instance, like I'll go on Twitter or whatever, and I will see like people like in lieu of talking about something that like something horrible that a man has done, and people will be like, oh, that's not a man, that's a little boy. Like, but what does that have to do with the horrible situation in which we are seeing, or reading about this guy, whoever it is, doing the bad thing that they are doing. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't help anybody to say that. It doesn't, it brings forth no conclusions. And that's what kind of pisses me off about that. So the wind is like really speaking, but it does nothing for anyone. So I just kind of wrote this thing that I'm gonna read because like it's kind of lengthy and like I was kind of brain vomiting. But it goes, it is easy to see bad people and demonize them. It is so easy to demonize, yet it does no good. I think real power is seeing the humanity in people regardless, not to lessen their sins, but to lessen our own. It is too easy to become a monster. Like the slave owners and the Nazis, for example, it is easy to see what you do not understand and allow your ego to fill you with rage and hatred and superiority. On the other hand, it takes a great deal of courage and humanity to humanize others regardless of what you think of them. Even with true criminals like killers and rapists and pedophiles, it takes humanizing to understand how we solve the issues at hand. Understanding both sides is how we find the root of the problem. If we just label people as monsters and throw them away, our issues will only persist. Deeming people as monsters may feel noble, but that is purely ego, for it solves no one's real physical issues long term. Even in our everyday lives of dealing with people we're not fond of, the thought of disliking or hating them does absolutely nothing for us. It is all ego, satisfying the ego, yet stressing out the brain and body. And for what? It is important to see the humanity in everyone, in order to rid the world of monsters. And we can't solve the issues if we can't tell the truth of the situation, which is that when we're dealing with who we want to call a monster, that's taking away their humanity. And that may feel nice, like it may feel noble, like I said, it may feel noble in the moment, but really, what does it do? It's not doing anything for you to like, you're just saying words that feel okay. I wouldn't even necessarily say they feel good, but it just goes back to a feeling of superiority. Whether you, even if you feel like you're one of the shittiest people on the planet, you'd be like, oh, well, at least I'm not XYZ. At least I've never done this to people. At least I've never done that to people. But like, it's still feeding into a superiority complex, if you know what I mean. Like, you feel over these people. And on the grand scheme of things, they're human just like you. And if we can't admit that, then we can't get to the root of the issue. And therefore, we can't get to a point where there will be no victims of these people, you know? Yeah. I would like to flesh that idea out more, but I was just kind of like word vomiting, like my thought process.